Yeah, I'm a perpetual hunter of starting points. I'm always looking to hear half a conversation or a kind of moment whilst doing something else. And I don't really want to analyse it too much in terms of the starting point of work or the origin of images, but I think increasingly I'm clear what I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in being a poet. I'm not interested in science fiction. I'm not interested in make-believe. I'm much more fascinated by the real world and the ordinary. I'm very conscious that this is my first solo presentation here in Canada, and I think we wanted to make sure that the breadth of my practice and formally how ideas manifest themselves are illustrated in works that I make. So there's an ongoing kind of project, there's a new commission in the gallery, and there's also an off-site text piece, and people who know my work would associate me with all three kind of attitudes and responses. With Unnamed, I'm trying as best I can for me not to become the narrative for the work, and I'm reluctant to talk about it in terms of the specifics, where the materials have come from, how they've been acquired, where they've been acquired from. And I think seeing it here, I understand why. I'm interested in the work not being about me, and I'm interested in it about not prescribing what the meaning is, because I think it's about you, and I think it's about your emotional response to the idea of how fundamentally that we bury our dead. And conceptually the removing of the names is about giving these objects the opportunity to transcend their specificness, for it to be about the general rather than the specific. And I think the less I talk about it, the more chance it has of transcending its components and becoming something else. The Honour Series is an ongoing gathering of images that I've taken over the last 15 years. They document either figures of sculpture in the landscape or the cityscape, and figures acting in public, demonstrating, proclaiming, or acting and presenting a cause for them to be seen. The colour is taken out of them, so they don't represent the real world. They're a kind of filter to what has happened. Gold leaf has been applied to mask a section of the image, to deny your gaze on them. And I don't think that's an act of censorship. I think it's a kind of retuning of the image, and I think it's a celebration in a sense, hence the title. It's a kind of romantic word, honour. It's not a word that you would use often, and I guess it's implying, how do we mark or elevate something or an event to having honour, and do these individuals, do they have honour? Are they seeking honour? In terms of dealing with the world and taking from the world, I also make work and then place it back into the world, which is not in our control in terms of the gallery. So we must cultivate our garden here in Vancouver, down in the Gastown area. There's a text that's from another from another world, from another time. The last line of Voltaire's book, Candide, which has a narrative and has a story and has a context in other histories. And I'm very deliberate and conscious that we are presenting it not in the plaza of the kind of safe middle section of downtown Vancouver. It's down there where it's someone else's kind of living room, I think. And I'm interested in the work being read and misread, and I'm interested in the text being ignored and loved and come upon by accident or never seen. And I think down there's a really interesting context for that to happen. It's very deliberately not front and centre, it's kind of up and within. Having that kind of attitude comes out of just a perpetual interest in testing those works, those text pieces in different conditions to see how they change their meaning and how they change their meaning due to context and how their context changes due to them being there. So, and I think the easiest way to find that out is to do it, to install it. It's as straightforward as that. We must cultivate our garden. How's that read in Vancouver? I think I know, but let's install it and find out.